Here we are, everybody, on the hotspot. I'm Jason Salas, and Talk It Up Thursday is the very, very fitting title because it is Thursday. We are talking and we are bringing up these very, very important topics. We're letting them bubble up because you have to know, because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Desiree Moylan is the president and founder and let's just say chief angel over at the Tuma organization. One of many, many angels.
Thank you.
Over there. So she is joining us once again, and we are talking about ways that you can recognize, help deal with, and in today's episode, be there for someone who may have mental health issues.
Yes. Mental health challenges.
Challenges, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
No, yes. And
that's why you're the best.
No. So yes, we have had many conversations the past few weeks, which I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity. So I thank you and your team for this because, like you said, I think it is very important to have these conversations, these healthy conversations surrounded by mental health. And, part of talking about it is also learning how to take care of yourself, right? And so I believe last week we discussed, you called people angels, right? Who are there for someone who could be going through some mental challenges, mental health challenges.
Being someone's special someone.
Yes, being someone's special someone.
They're plus one.
They're plus one.
But not to the prom. This is being their plus one 24/7 though.
Yes.
You're the person they have the first one on speed dial.
Yes.
They can slide into your DMs at any time. Like if they need someone, you're there for them.
Absolutely. And being that special someone comes with a lot of pressure sometimes, and I want to just make sure people are reminded that if you are that special someone, it's incredibly important to take care of yourself. And that's where self-care comes in, right? You can't
And we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
We did, because you can't give more, you can't meet people where they're at if you're not leveled there, right? So it's always important for you to take care of yourself. And part of being there for someone is being full yourself, right? So
because if you're going to be someone's special someone, you got to go all the way.
You do. And I want to remind people, you're not there to save people. And that is something that I had to learn on this journey. Was in the way beginning, I wanted to save everyone, but that's not your job. Your job is not to save someone. Your job is to help bridge the gap and bring people to attain the care that they need, right? So you can be a listener, and part of being a listener is recognizing when the situation is not about you. So that's the first thing, is remember that the conversation is not about you. Oftentimes when we engage in conversation, we're so quick to be like, well, I would have, or this is what you should do, right? And you're not allowing that person to feel empowerment, right? And you want them to be able to recognize what's going on, admit what they need to do, right? And seek the help that's appropriate without you telling them, right? Do you like being told what to do? No one likes being told what to do.
Not at all.
Not at all. So part of being a special someone,
probably for me explains a lot.
Part of being a special someone is really just learning the value of being a good listener.
Okay, can I ask you something though? Because I am my best friend since we were in second grade.
Yes.
I'm his special someone. He went through a recent physical health affliction. He had some issues that he developed and everything. And I said, if you need anything, I'll be your guy, right? I'll run to the pharmacy at a very uncommon hour. If you need someone to yell at or vent against and everything, I won't take it personally. But I thought going into this that I would need to establish empathy, as we've also talked about. That's really, really big. But sometimes the other party doesn't want you to say, yes, I understand, because I don't understand. I don't know what it's like to feel that kind of pain or frustration
and you can admit that. I think oftentimes the human in us, we're just so, it's easier to say, I understand what you're going through, but you're right, you don't understand. So another way to turn that around is, you know what, Jason, you're right, I don't understand, but I'm here for you. So how can I help you? How can we get through this together?
Okay.
So that's another way of emphasizing empathy, is making it like, we're in this together. You are not alone.
On the flip side, I also don't want to patronize them and make it too like they're a sympathy case.
No. And that's the thing is empathy is very different from sympathy, right?
Yeah.
So, and you're right. People who are going through different challenges, they don't want sympathy. That's probably the one thing they say is like, don't give me sympathy. I don't want any of that. And so it's just about having patience, listening to what they need in that moment, because you got to meet people where they're at. That's the most important thing, is you can want for them, but if they don't want it, then you have to respect that. And you just have to figure out, okay, what do you want in this moment, or what do you need in this moment, right? And just kind of build from there.
Okay, I'm gonna go from my upbringing, and we have this together because we're both very, very proud Guamanians.
Yes.
We're both proud Chamorros from this wonderful community, right? Because I'm a guy, and because I am, like, you know, native to this part of the world, tough love is something that's ingrained in all of us. You know, like my grandmother, my nana, my tata both taught me that. My dad taught me that. Is tough love the best way to go about when you're dealing with, you know, someone who has mental health challenges?
You know, they like to say to each their own, but I like to kind of rewrite that narrative, because I think times are so different today. I think a lot of the youth are far more sensitive than our generation. I think, you know, growing up at our times, we kind of took that, you know, that kind of mentality, right? And
I would tell my friend, I was like, you know, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Man, you got kids, man. Come on, get it together.
Culturally, I've learned that you can't fault the culture, or the mindsets and the generations before us, because that was all they knew, right? So now today it's like we unlearn to relearn, right? So how can we adapt to the way things are today? And the younger generation, they're far too sensitive for that type of mindset or mentality or talk. To me, it's not even about tough love. To me, it's about properly and healthily communicating with someone, right? And I think that's the issue, is we don't know how to communicate, or we don't know how to talk to someone about what we're going through, out of that fear or stigma of having that placed on us. Like, you're a boy, you're supposed to be tough, you know, or stop crying, you know, we don't cry, we just focus, we need to do this, you know, X, Y, and Z.
Or perhaps to a female, you would be like a little bit too pandering. It's okay, Nettie, you're gonna be like, okay. Sometimes maybe girls might appreciate like tough love.
And I think at the end of the day, it's just open communication, like being able to just respect the difference of opinion, but have the ability to healthily communicate, you know. And I tell my kids that all the time, is just like, if you're going through something, talk to us. You will never get in trouble for expressing how you feel, especially even if it's towards me. If I did something to hurt your feelings, I want to know, because I will take accountability. And that's the flip side too, is like, where does the accountability, right? People don't like to take accountability nowadays. So it's like, it's just open and healthy communication is what I think is the fine line of figuring out how someone's feeling or what they're going through.
To me, that's a real revelation, Jez. I got to be completely frank with you, because like growing up again, this was something that I was not conditioned to do. I was not allowed to do. So as someone's special someone, I would like to be the special someone for as many people as I can.
Absolutely.
Right? Is there any way that I can assess myself and see, am I doing a good job? How do I actually, like, are there metrics that I can use to say I'm making a difference, or I'm at least like helping this person getting through what they're doing?
I think assessing yourself would be, again, open communication, right? Is just asking, right? Oftentimes we tend to assume too much, right? And that's what I did. I feel like when I lost my brother in 2017, I just assumed. I assumed he was okay. I assumed X, Y, and Z. I never asked the questions. So if you're that special someone, don't be afraid to ask, like, am I helping you? Do you want me to, am I overdoing it? Am I, you know, this and that? Like, you gotta create those conversations to figure out, right? Instead of assuming. So you can assess yourself and think you're doing a great job and you think you're being there for them, but without getting their consent, it's just an assumption, right? So I think the best thing is just to be open and honest and transparent, and I want to help you and I want to meet you where you're at, so you need to let me know if I'm not.
And I would hope the person that you are trying to help would appreciate that you're saying, am I making it? Is there anything else I can do?
I think that someone who is in a vulnerable state appreciates nothing more than transparency. So I think they go hand in hand, you know.
Maybe to also close with this, I guess it's also important to say, I probably shouldn't ask, am I doing a good enough job, and be clingy, because I could probably overdo it too. So I got to know like when to let you be you, and just I got to back off. As hard as that may be for me as a special someone.
Sometimes you're in such a sensitive situation that you are clingy too much, where you don't even realize it, but it's because the situation calls for it. You don't know what else to do, right? It's kind of like your impulse and reaction. So again, just communicating and having that healthy communication is really what's going to refrain anyone from assuming, you know, the worst, or assuming is just not the best.
Right. Well, you know, people often say, if you go online, they say, can you be someone's SS? And they normally refer to that as support system.
Yes.
That also means, as we've definitively said today, someone's special someone. So you have taught us how to be that throughout this month. And, you know, just because May is Mental Health Awareness Month, we are going to continue these lessons and this knowledge and this caring year-round.
Absolutely.
Okay, what's your Instagram again? We always say this because you've got an amazing Instagram that we want people to follow.
Thank you. It's at Tuma Guam, so Tuma Guam. But before we close, I just want to remind everyone that your mental health challenges, whatever you may be going through, just remember that it's only part of you and it's not all of you. So
there you go. That's an amazing message from an amazing person with an
Thank
amazing
you.
organization. And you are amazing too, and we want you to stay amazing, and we want you to stay right there, because Hotspot continues after this.